to episode 4 of my harder version of Space Engineer Survival. We start, as always, usually in the cockpit. Probably like that for a while. So today we're probably gonna get everything ready to move, most likely. I'm doing a little more research, deciding whether or not I want to bother putting on a tank, but I'm like, nah, I need spotlights. And that's what I decided to put on. I later decided I don't like how close they are, so but they're good. I have spotlights now. I have some ways of seeing in the dark if I wanted to drive in first person. So there's that. I'm just gonna make these spotlights and then I think I'm gonna start driving. So, I hope you all are having a nice day. And speaking of having a nice day, we're going to do some mining. This one I don't speed up, I don't think. No, I don't. I leave it at regular speed so you guys can see just how much work goes into this. I'm gonna mine a little bit of resources, put it back in. It's a lot of work just to get spotlights done. We get done and I'm like, okay, that's everything. And this is where I put them in their own group so I can turn them on and off from the console. I think I'd leave it at their default. Or I changed the range. I don't remember quite. Well, first I have trouble thinking of the name, but yes, I eventually do change some settings on it. Trying to get its range out. I have a better spotlight. But I'm mostly driving third person right now because I'm doing lovely, lovely stuff. We're driving around on mountains, so I need to be able to see everything. I can't see everything in the current version of my cockpit. So now it's time to start taking everything down. And picking up all the leftover pieces so I don't leave anything behind and cause lag, hopefully. So there's that. So yeah. Time to slowly start taking everything down. First the windmills and then the, I forget I can't jump, so I'm just like, you know what, I'll just use the ability that it falls. The gravity's a thing to help me. It's hard to get to my, cargo container now. So, I yawned. This is causing me to take some damage, of course. But it's not too bad. I got a survival kit that can heal me up. So, literally, this is all it's taking. And now it's just putting everything up and packing it away so I have the resources for later. I remember to actually take stuff out of this one. Usually I forget to take stuff out of my storage container. Eventually I decided to dump the gravel on the side of the road so eventually it'll disappear. There's stuff in here. But luckily it's only a couple big stuff. And then I decided to take the battery with me. Yeah, I don't get the power cells back, which is the largest investment of iron, but sorry, I get everything else back though. Seeing if I could destroy it in some way. I can't, so I decide make sure everything's gone, and then it's like, alright, time to get out of here. I really should have put a GPS so I know how far I drive from here, but I didn't, so I have no clue where I'm setting, how far I'm driving. I'm still going. You may see me changing my wheel settings to go slower, and to change the strength and all of that down. And then it's time for driving. Time to drive. It's gonna be a lot. We're gonna do a lot of driving, I think, today. So we're gonna just do a lot of driving. Driving all day long. So we're also gonna be marking rocks on our way. There's that. So we're marking, and then we're gonna be going to another boulder. We're gonna mark boulders on our way to our lovely, where we decide to settle our base. I'm trying to go, I think north. I think it is. And so, you know. So, yeah. That's what we're doing. Literally, we're driving, and then we'll stop at a boulder. And we'll mark it down real quick after drilling into it a little bit, so the marker's a little higher off the ground, or a little into the boulder itself. And then we'll continue on until we find where we want to live. Although these boulders are quite a distance away from where I eventually decide to live, so I'm about to build a road up. For one, just to get up to them. But that's spoilers. So, we're doing some lovely, lovely work. Now, I'm still going too fast. I just don't realize it yet. I park real quick to change my speed to even lower. Actually, I changed the power a little higher, because I sometimes have trouble climbing cliffs, some of the hills, but I should just slow my speed down. I need more power, but less speed. Oh, why? So, there's that. Another iron bowler. Trust me, iron bowlers are very, very useful. So, we're just going to be driving for quite a distance. I hope you guys are ready. Maybe I should put some chase music on or something. Nah, that's too much work. I did speed this part up, actually. I think I timed it by 2. I didn't want to go too fast, but I did speed it up a little bit. So, find a spot in between 2 boulders that I'm just marked in between the 2 boulders. I don't get out, because it's 2 boulders. So, there's that. Sorry, I moved my headphones. And it's right about I find another boulder. Trying to look around. Just walking around, watching my surroundings. Then it all goes bad. When I take this turn, I end up upside down. And my cargo exploded, which means I lost a good amount. I managed to find most of it actually on the ground. It is just enough to basically recover my. I also lost my back solar panel, which is like the only thing facing that would have been facing the sun right now. And luckily, it's just enough to. Most of the stuff is enough to fix what broke and get my way up. I, of course, scavenged for more materials that went flying out. It's probably more that fell away and went all over the place, but I didn't want to go looking for it. So I managed to put up my cobalt and iron I mined, just a little bit of it. Iron goes a long way in this. I tried to look up what a piston will cost me, and I would need an assembly to make a piston. It requires 4 small steel tubes, and I think I only have 3. So, I managed to find. So, it's time to start digging my way out. And that's what the rest of this episode is going to be, is just me digging my way out slowly. So, there's that. So, we're just seeing me dig out stuff on the truck, trying to get enough room for it to slip down into this hole. I'm dying of oxygen. Of course, I'm always dying of something. Right back to more mining. Right-click mining, of course. I start left-click mining for a little bit, thinking I'm going to make some iron plates to help tilt this thing over. But I end up don't needing it. In fact, I still have most of the materials to still make an assembler. I think. Don't know. I'm just watching it and commenting it. This is all post-commentary with only a few notes, because I'm not the best at note-taking. So, there's that. Of course, gotta charge it to get my oxygen and stuff. I'm trying to clear out enough room to slowly tip this thing over. Of course, I can't have stuff blocking my way. And I find out I can't put a big block in between the 2 tires anyway, so I'll put tip over the block. So, you know. Without the ability to make a piston, I have no way easily tipping over. I just basically gotta build a giant hole. So, eventually I think, well, I could just make an assembler, just gather materials using the survival kit so I don't have to build a refinery. But that's future, that still hasn't happened yet. I'm still trying to focus on digging a hole. So, so yeah, this is where I come up with that idea I just talked about. I'm like, okay, if I could just make an assembler, which I pretty much can almost. I didn't lose too many parts. So, you know. There's me just slowly, gonna mine a little bit with left click. After seeing what I'm going to have, I can look at what I need and be like, okay. I have a lot of the materials I need. Which is mainly computers, I think, something I don't have. So here I am about to gather all this material so I can build the system so I can put iron in it and make these small, like one small steel tube that I would have had if I hadn't crashed to make a piston. So I said I probably should always leave backup ingredients to make a piston in my small cargo container because it's a little more protected. Eventually I decided it's not worth it. Because eventually I decided it's not worth it, so yay. I decided to switch to just digging a giant hole. I do mean giant. Because it takes a long time to get the wheels to slide in such a way it will tilt the rest of the way over. So now it's resting on its wheels. So now I gotta get it to tip the rest of the way. Over so it can be so I can get it right side up, which I eventually do. But it's gonna take all night to do, just to get it. I mean, technically speaking, it is right side up. I just gotta get it even now. So at some point, I accidentally damaged my O2 and H2 generator, which I mean I'm not even using, but I did damage it. I'm trying to dig this out. Try to fix it, but it takes a large steel tube, so I can't fix it. I can only fix it enough where it won't hopefully get broken more. I'm getting tempted to just to finish making the assembler, so I can make a couple large steel tubes so I can stop the fire. But as you see, I decided against that and decided to just put all the materials up, so I have the materials to make an assembler when I get to my wherever I decide to make my base. So, yeah. So who knows what I decide with that. I decided to put some protection on the O2H generator to prevent it from being damaged any more than it currently is. So, here I am dying again. So I'm dying a lot. Usually of oxygen, because I keep forgetting about it, because I don't have the warning, because Splitsy's warning. The screen for Splitsy comes on as soon, if you don't have a water O2 bottle, it comes on at 70, and since my thing lasts twice as long as him, it's not 70 seconds, it's more like 140 seconds. Him 70 oxygen will last him 70 seconds, so he needs that warning. He needs 70 oxygen will last about 140 seconds, which means I'm having a warning flash on my screen for twice as long as I would need it, usually. So I took out that part. Problem is now I get no warning. So I'm thinking if I could find a screen thing, just a default one of a screen warning. That will warn me when my O2 gets like 50. I feel like 100 seconds would be a good enough warning. But it might not be enough, honestly. Usually I don't notice my oxygen until I'm about to die from it. So I got it right set up now, luckily. So now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get it out of here. Eventually I start clearing out some space for it. Hurting myself, of course, because I can't just be bothered to not kill myself. Apparently. So there's that. This is what you're gonna deal with a lot. Is me mining. Since you're one of the pulls, I don't even get the full 30 minutes of my daytime. I think I only get like 10 minutes of daytime or something like that. So I'm thinking, even though my base is near where I'm eventually gonna settle, which is spoilers, you guys will probably see by the end of this episode. No, not the end of this episode. The end of the next episode. Think. I don't know. My notes aren't very good. A lot of mining. I'm just clearing out a lot of extra space right here to the side, even though I don't need to. This is not even the side of the mountain I even use to get up. It's not even turned this way. I went to the side to the left there a little bit, and then switched to here. Now I've got to slowly work my way down. I'm literally just trying to get my way to work my way out. And just get rid of all this nonsense that's in my way. Until I fill up on oxygen and all that fun jazz. Gotta keep doing that. Gotta check up on I'm getting low on power though, so eventually I'm gonna sit in there a minute, but you guys won't know that because I probably will cut it out, most likely. But I'm slowly taking my way out of this hole. So, a lot of mining in this episode, more than any other episode. You guys got basically a mining montage. So, a very, very long one. That's only at like 2 times speed for most of it. So, me changing some of the wheel settings, I think. Yeah, I think that was the wheel settings, so I can just try and get my way out of here. So, sitting there, charging a little bit, trying to move. Seeing if I can move at all. It's too steep for me to move for the most part, so. But I managed to find a little way up. Of course, it's not good because it's not flat. I don't want to try to make enough steel plates by life click mining to get out of there using that way up. Even though I definitely could. So much. So this is me just desperately trying to set aside all the sponges. Mess with my wheels, seeing if changes to them can get me to get up here a little easier, giving me more strength so I can climb a little more easier. Anything in general that will help move this car. Used to be a pod out of the hole. So, I don't know. So this is what I'm doing It's just mining away to up so I could try and even it out a little bit so I could get up here a little easier. Changing my grabbing resources out so I can put some iron on the back of this so I can protect the back of the cargo container from what I'm from because I'm gonna be backing out to try and ram myself up there, so I've gotta be able to protect my cargo container from being potentially destroyed again. That's my plan anyways. Well, at the current moment anyways. So, first I gotta dig my way up. So, this means digging my way slowly and surely upward. So, it's really weird how nothing seems to really help me get up there a lot. Eventually I make a somewhat decent way up and I start expanding on it. Of course it isn't perfect, and then I have, but you know, as long as I can get out of this hole, I'll be fine. That's all I'm trying to do right now, to get out of this godforsaken hole. You guys like my suffering, you can like the video, I guess. Show me you like this content by smashing that like button. I don't. You guys can like it or not. I'm just working hard on it, whether or not I'm making episodes and posting them for fun, basically. I like playing Space Engineers. I just figure if I'm going to play a harder version of Survival, I might as well make it to where uh, it's posted so, you know, other people can see my suffering. And I start trying to line myself up to see if I can get my way up there. Go down the middle, make sure the thing isn't scraping on the sides, trying to figure out why it won't you. No, I turned weather on, so weather is on. I just haven't seen a storm yet, which is surprising me. I thought I would have seen one by now. But nope, I haven't seen one yet. So I've decided to go twice weekly schedule, Monday and Fridays as my schedule to release this. managed to get up a little higher than I was, so there's that. So, I'm slowly making progress. And the problem is it takes quite a while to make progress like this. So, I'm literally digging and digging. It's almost daytime. Well, it is technically daytime. I'm just not getting any sun in the giant hole I'm in. So, So, yeah. This is a lot of mining we're going to be doing now. Trying to, make it somewhat even. Try to make a whole even road section ahead. So that way, much less mining for me in the future, trying to. Much less. So, we shall see. But it's gonna take me a while to even attempt to get out of this hole, so. Being out this and a while for this episode. Gonna be one of the more boring episodes, even though, it's me trying to get out of a hole. Not making it very far. Because I keep just struggling just for a few feet of ground. Each time I gain just a little bit more ground. Till eventually I get out of the hole. So, eventually I get out of it. Will. Hopefully. We shall see. Pop my knuckles. So I'm now a little farther forward. Almost out of the red ground. Almost. So I'm almost to the point where I am in the yellowish, greenish, brownish, whatever the top soil color is. And then the space in there making its boss enemy music there for a second. Clouds, more space up here to the side so I can walk around a little easier. So that's what I'm doing, trying to expand the area of my ramp just a little bit, make my life easier. Just trying to slowly get up to where I can get out of this hole that I've dug. Pretty deep hole. Honestly, I need to get a road paver. So, just so I can pave stuff when I get drills. But with that little mishap, that ends it. Bye.